We live in a world that often equates success with flawlessness, and it's easy to get caught up in the illusion that in order to achieve our goals, we need to be perfect. But here's the truth: perfection is not the goal, progress is. When you embrace imperfection, you're allowing yourself the freedom to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. Perfectionism keeps us small, it holds us back from taking risks because we fear failure. But failure is not a sign that you're on the wrong path, it's a sign that you're trying, learning, and growing. When we accept that setbacks and mistakes are inevitable, we begin to see them as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Imagine if every great inventor, artist, or entrepreneur waited until their work was flawless before putting it out into the world. We wouldn't have some of the greatest innovations, art, and ideas that have shaped our lives. They succeeded because they were willing to embrace the messiness of creation and growth. Embracing imperfection means showing up even when you don't have all the answers. It means being kind to yourself when things don't go as planned and recognizing that every mistake is an opportunity to learn. It means accepting that you're going to face challenges, and some days it's going to feel like you're failing. That's okay. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about how you rise each time you fall. And when you own your imperfections, something powerful happens. You give yourself permission to be vulnerable, to be authentic, and to be courageous. You stop chasing an unattainable ideal and start appreciating the journey you're on, the journey that's shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Ladies and gentlemen, let go of the unrealistic standard of perfection. Instead, aim for authenticity and growth. Embrace the beauty of your imperfect journey, knowing that it's through these experiences that you build strength, resilience, and character. Remember, imperfection isn't a flaw, it's a sign of being fully alive and fully engaged in your journey. When we think of the word vulnerable, we often associate it with weakness, exposure, or fear. Think about it: when you go after your goals, you're putting yourself out there in a big way. You're risking failure, rejection, criticism, and even heartbreak. But daring to be vulnerable is. Daring to be vulnerable isn't about sharing everything with everyone, it's about being open and honest about what matters most to you. It means admitting when you're scared, asking for help when you need it, and sharing your failures as well as your victories. It's about acknowledging that you're not perfect, and that's not only okay, it's necessary. You see, vulnerability doesn't make you weak, it makes you brave. It's choosing to show up and face your fears rather than hiding behind a mask of perfection. It's letting yourself be authentic in a world that often tries to make you fit into a mold. And while it may feel uncomfortable, every time you lean into your vulnerability, you're building resilience and strengthening your courage. Ladies and gentlemen, dare to be vulnerable, not because it's easy, but because it's the most honest way to live. The truth is, there's no courage without vulnerability. Being vulnerable allows you to embrace uncertainty, push past fear, and stay connected to what truly matters. When you set out to achieve a goal, there's a reason behind it. It's not just a task on a to-do list, it's something that matters deeply to you. Maybe it's a dream you've had since you were young, a mission that fuels your passion, or a desire to create a better future for yourself or those you love. This deeper purpose is your why, the driving force that gives meaning to your journey. But here's the thing: the journey isn't always easy, and along the way, it's all too common to lose sight of your why in the face of setbacks, distractions, or challenges. That's why staying connected to your why is crucial. When the road gets tough and you're tempted to quit, your why is what will anchor you. It's the reason you started in the first place. When doubt creeps in, when obstacles appear insurmountable, when the voices in your head tell you to give up, that's when your why comes into play. It acts like a compass, guiding you back to your purpose and reigniting your determination. Staying connected to your why means actively reminding yourself of what's at stake. It requires reflection and honesty. Take a step back and ask yourself, why did I start? What do I want to achieve? Who do I want to become through this journey? Who or what am I doing this for? These questions bring clarity and focus, especially when you feel overwhelmed or lost. Sometimes it's not just about your individual goals, but also about the impact you want to have on others. Maybe you want to be a role model for your children, prove something to yourself, or contribute to a greater cause. Your why isn't just about reaching a destination, it's about the legacy you want to leave behind and the mark you want to make on the world. But staying connected to your why isn't a one-time thing, it's a daily practice. Just like a muscle, it needs to be nurtured and strengthened. One way to do this is by creating rituals that keep your why front and center. Write it down where you can see it every day, or create a vision board that represents your purpose. Share your why with someone who believes in you and can remind you of it when times are tough. And remember, your why might evolve as you grow. That's perfectly normal. Life changes, circumstances shift, and your reasons for pursuing a goal may change too. The key is to stay open to redefining your why as you gain new experiences and insights. Ladies and gentlemen, your why is not just a motivator, it's the heartbeat of your journey. It's what keeps you going when the world tells you to stop. So when you're feeling drained or uncertain, pause and reconnect with it. Breathe it in. Let it fill you with purpose, passion, and resilience. Each of us has a story we tell ourselves, a narrative that plays on repeat in our minds. These stories often originate from past experiences, fears, insecurities, or words spoken over us by others. They become part of our inner dialogue, influencing how we see ourselves and how we respond to challenges. But the problem with these narratives is that they're not always true. In fact, many of them are shaped by self-doubt, limiting beliefs, or past failures that have nothing to do with who you really are or what you're truly capable of. To stay on the path to your goals, you must learn to challenge these stories and reframe them in a way that empowers you. One of the most common narratives we tell ourselves is, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it." These thoughts can stem from a fear of failure or a lack of confidence, but over time, they create an identity based on self-limitation. They make you hesitate to take risks, shy away from new opportunities, and doubt your abilities even when you've already proven yourself. When you challenge these narratives, you're not just addressing thoughts, you're reshaping your self-identity. Challenging the narrative means first recognizing it. Pay attention to the moments when your inner dialogue becomes critical or discouraging. Ask yourself, where is this story coming from, and is this truly the reality, or is it just my perception? Often, these limiting stories stem from a fear of vulnerability, of being judged or rejected if you fail. But vulnerability, as we know, is not weakness. It's the birthplace of courage and growth. Once you recognize a limiting narrative, you can choose to rewrite it. Start by replacing self-criticism with self-compassion. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend, encouraging, supportive, and understanding. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I always mess things up," reframe it to, "I'm learning and improving with every step. My mistakes are not a reflection of my worth, but a part of my growth." This shift in perspective doesn't ignore challenges, it acknowledges them while focusing on resilience. It's also important to recognize that the narrative in your head is not just shaped by your own thoughts, but also by the stories society tells about what's possible and who you should be. External expectations can make you feel like you have to fit into certain molds, diminishing your sense of authenticity. Part of challenging the narrative is questioning whether those molds align with your values and aspirations. It's about giving yourself permission to be yourself, even if it goes against societal norms or others' opinions. Another powerful way to challenge the narrative is to surround yourself with people who believe in your potential. Their words of encouragement can help you rewrite the internal script. Let their faith in you amplify your own, especially in moments when you struggle to see your capabilities. And remember, you don't have to face this alone. When you open up to trusted people about your doubts, you often find that they share similar struggles. This shared vulnerability breaks down the walls of self-doubt and replaces isolation with connection. Ladies and gentlemen, the stories in your head are not fixed, they're flexible, and you have the power to rewrite them. The next time self-doubt whispers, "You can't do this," respond with, "Maybe not yet, but I'm getting closer every day." when fear says, "What if you fail?" answer with. Then I'll get up, learn, and try again, reclaim your narrative, and make it one of courage, perseverance, and possibility. Because the most powerful stories you'll ever hear aren't the ones others tell about you, they're the ones you tell yourself about who you are and what you can achieve. And those stories, they can change everything.
Thank you.